This is Industry Wednesday. Every Wednesday, we analyze a different industry. Today, we're looking at 15 things you didn't know about the plastics industry. Welcome to Alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get informed. Hello, Aluxers, and welcome back to our channel. In the famous song Barbie Girl, where they say, "Life in plastic, it's fantastic," is no longer a statement of today's life. We're surrounded by plastic everywhere, and we're literally living in plastic. From our food to our clothes, our furniture, hygiene products, everything has plastic. Although today's plastic represents a major health and environmental problem, we have to admit it has thousands of uses in our everyday life and is a major discovery. Plastic has replaced a lot of hard and dangerous metals, has cut down on the cost of many products, and has made the food industry more efficient. This industry is making a lot of money on a daily basis because we now are addicted to plastic. But how much work does it take to make it? How much money do they make? And what makes plastic such an important tool? Although plastic is cheap and disposable, the industry makes billions of dollars in a world where even money is made of plastic. So, let's take a closer look. If you're new here, welcome. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on Instagram at Alux. Number 1. 40% of all the plastic is used for packaging. We drink water from plastic bottles, we eat from plastic containers, and we wear plastic. You may think that plastics companies produce more single-use plastic like straws, plastic cups, or plastic bottles, but in fact, 40% of all the plastic is represented by packaging. Bags, boxes, medicines, and other items around us are packaged and shipped with plastic. Of course, plastic packaging helps keep your contents secured, sealed, and hygienic, and somehow nowadays the packaging industry takes almost half of the plastic production. Number 2. Small particles of plastic can be found in sea salt and in fish. Because plastic has been around for some years now, don't forget that it takes a good 1,000 years to degrade, and before it does, it'll break down into very small particles that are absorbed into the earth, water, or even animals. With that being said, today's sea salt, fish, water, and soil contain microplastic particles that we humans end up eating. It's safe to say that just as turtles and dolphins die because of plastic, the same is going to happen to humans in the future. The sad part is, only 5% of the packaging is recycled. Number 3. Europe wants to ban single-use plastics by 2030. The huge amount of plastic that we consume ends up being thrown into the ocean or rivers, therefore polluting them and the entire ecosystem. A small step towards reducing plastic waste is to stop using plastic items that we don't necessarily need, like straws, plastic bags, and plastic bottles. In order to ban single-use plastics, the EU passed a law that forces countries to stop buying and using so much plastic. According to a UK-based environmental NGO, by 2050, the ocean will contain more plastic than fish. Of course, this ban will affect the companies that produce single-use plastics. Number 4. Plastics take 8% of the oil production. Plastic is made out of petrochemicals, which are derived from oil. This means that a part of the oil used for fueling cars and machines is transformed into everyday plastic items. Nowadays, the plastic industry uses just as much oil as aviation does. Out of all oil production, which is a $1.7 trillion industry, 8% goes to manufacturing plastics. And since the plastic need has increased 20 times in the last 20 years, the oil industry may need to bypass more than 8% in the future. Number 5. It's a $1 trillion industry. As you might have guessed by now, the plastics industry makes a lot of money each year, with millions of tons of plastic being produced. This industry is now at $1.1 trillion worth. Just because plastic is cheap and often disposable, it can bring a lot of money to the table. So far, the USA, China, and India are the top 3 countries that are ruling this trillion-dollar industry. The packaging branch is once again taking more than half of the pie because it's worth over $650 billion alone. So it's no wonder that countries are banking big time from the plastic industry. Number 6. Big companies don't practice what they preach. Coca-Cola produced over 100 billion bottles in 2016 alone. They've changed the original glass bottles to the plastic ones back in the 1970s, knowing the world is not ready for that much plastic intake or recycling technology. Although their bottles are recyclable, less than 30% of the bottles are actually recycled because there isn't any incentive to do it, nor the culture in many parts of the world. Coca-Cola is a massive corporation with sales of over $35 billion, and so are their competitors that use the same types of bottles. That's a whole lot of plastic in our world. Number 7. Some people believe rice is made of plastic. The worst thing about the internet and the media in general is that fake news can make its way into primetime news like it's the royal wedding. One myth that wandered around the news for a while was the plastic rice myth. People believe that rice made of plastic was sent to African countries because of a viral video showing rice looking and acting like plastic. However, African investigators did not find any trace of plastic in the samples they examined. Number 8. Oil companies are investing billions of dollars in plastic factories. Who would be the best investor in a plastic company? Well, the oil industry, of course. When the automobile industry wants to go electric, you turn your eye to others who use oil just as much. The world doesn't need more plastic waste, but that's another problem. Fossil fuel companies have pumped over $180 billion into the plastics industry in the last 8 years alone. Big names such as ExxonMobil and Shell Chemical helped fuel a 40% rise in the plastics industry with their investments and support. Some even blame them for damaging our environment with both plastic and carbon emissions. Number 9. The plastic sector might be a good investment right now. If you have some money on the side, the best way to keep it is by investing it. You can choose to invest it in real estate or investment funds, but the second option gives you the freedom to choose an industry you're familiar with. The plastic sector is now faced with some negativity all about single-use plastics, but it can be used as a good time to buy stocks, because when things settle down, profit will continue to come your way. It's how investing works. Just have patience and do your homework, because what goes up must come down, and what goes down will probably come back up. Number 10. ExxonMobil Corp is the biggest plastics manufacturer based on worth. With over $237 billion in revenue, ExxonMobil is the biggest and richest chemical company out there. They're also the 9th largest company by revenue and has strong connections with John D. Rockefeller's Standard Oil Company. Being the largest refining oil company in the world, they also founded an ExxonMobil Chemicals, which is responsible for many oil-derived products, including plastic. The company was founded only 28 years ago, and yet they're already striving to make plastic in a more sustainable and clean way. If you're interested to learn some more about this rich oil industry, check out our video all about it by clicking in the top right corner. Number 10. The travel industry is cutting down on plastic use as well. Traveling becomes difficult when you want to eat healthy or cut down on plastic waste. This industry that includes airplanes, buses, hotels, and stores is constantly needing plastic with travel-size containers, cutlery, bags, and disposable cups. All of that keeps this industry working. Recently, though, multiple luxury hotel chains, airlines, and cruise ships decided to cut down on single-use plastics, such as beauty supplies, straws, cups, or aprons. Luxury and plastic will not be mixing for much longer. Number 12. The US and Saudi Arabia want to build the world's largest plastic plant in Texas. President Trump wants to be remembered for doing amazing things for his country and facilitating more jobs for his people. One way he plans to do this is by trying to build the newest project in the plastic industry. During his latest visit to Saudi Arabia, he pledged the $10 billion investment in the future world's largest plastics plant. It's set to be located in Texas, and if all goes well, construction will begin in 2019. Number 13. Plastic components can make a plane up to 50% lighter. Because plastic is so light and durable, its usage throughout all industries is understandable. Nowadays, most things have plastic components. The cars we drive, our bikes, furniture, household items are mostly plastic, and even planes have plastic. The Boeing 787 is 50% plastic, making it lighter, easier to replace, and it saves 20% on fuel. The plastic used for vehicles and planes is highly durable and safe, especially when it comes to the price point. Do not underestimate what this industry can replicate and replace. Number 14. 1 million plastic bottles are bought every minute. To emphasize just how much plastic we humans use, remember this. 1 million plastic bottles are bought every minute. That means around 144 million bottles per day and over $50 million per year. This huge number is definitely scary, but remember, this is just for plastic bottles. There's also plastic cups, straws, bags, mugs, cutlery, toys, tools, everything. It's a massive industry that seems to be growing each year. Number 15. Luxury brands sell plastic bags for hundreds of dollars. Luxury fashion is not for everyone. You need to be in a certain state of mind to understand what you get for the money you spend and what luxury actually means, because it's different for everyone. Because the French are well-known snobs, they branded plastic bags. We're talking about the luxury brand Celine that brought out luxury plastic bags. What is normally priced for a few cents was sold for over $762. Of course, the plastic was of better quality and had the brand's name printed on it. The bag debuted in October 2017 on the runway for Celine's Spring-Summer 18 show at Paris Fashion Week. Well, Aluxers, now you know just how much money the plastics industry is worth and why it's so important for oil companies to invest in them. Not all plastic is created equal, and as you noticed, it can get very expensive and useful when it's used by smart people. Now, we want to know, what do you think about life in plastic? Does it bother you that so many things are made of plastic? Let us know in the comments. And as always, for sticking with us until the end and being a true Aluxer, here's a bonus fact that's so nostalgic it'll take you right back to childhood. Number 16. Lego wants to replace its plastic toys. Some companies successfully build an empire out of plastic. We're talking mainly about toys, an industry that's adopted plastic a long time ago. The massive now corporation that is Lego, a billion-dollar company well known all over the world, wants to replace the plastic in their toys. They make over 60 billion blocks every year, and they're investing over $150 million into research, hoping to find the best alternative to oil-derived plastics. But we can be sure that whoever discovers the best plastic substitute will be a very rich person. Thank you for spending some time with us, Aluxer. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss a video. If you want more, we handpicked these videos you might enjoy, or head over to Alux.com for the best in fine living content on the planet. Be a part of the largest community of luxury enthusiasts in the world and tell your story.